It's a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SimWorld today. I'm the man with the bean sprouts on my head, B-Ron, and joining me as always is my co-host, Yells. Good morning, man. How you
Man,
doing?
it's good to be here, man. Got the pretty new format for these guys. We're ready to do something
Yeah,
today,
brother.
man.
Yeah, man. We are ready. We are ready. Let's jump right into things, shall we?
Let's do it.
Best Coast Ballers. No, I lied. Bad with basketball. With basketball, they have a strong backcourt
Yeah.
featuring Samuel Bogus and Bo Pagnotti Jr., among others. Do they have the best backcourt in SimWorld Prep? Is the question. I don't think so. I think there are a few that are that are, if not better than them, then on the same level as those two. Uh, Zagor and Nominations come to mind for me. Um, wish I wrote some more of these down. But looking at some of the, I think that uh
Well, look.
Isaiah James
I,
and
Isaiah James and
yep,
KPJ there.
yep,
For
yep,
sure, out of
yep,
Beast
yep.
of the East, I'll jump right in there, man.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
I love Samuel Bogus's game. I love it. He can go get you a bucket. We talked about him last week. He can get you a bucket when you're ready, for one. But he's a pure point guard, man. He's dropping dimes. Sometimes they're flashy. A lot of times they're just the correct play. He led the league in assists per game last year. 6 assists per
yep,
game, 6.4, somewhere around there. I may be missing the mark, but he led the league, and it wasn't close. He led the league for the entire season. Bo Pagnotti, on the other hand, he's just a flat-out rim attacker. He gets to the rim. He can score. He can knock down the jumper. He can facilitate, too, but he's deferred where he need to. He was willing to come off the bench last season. He still got the job done. Great backcourt. Best
yep.
backcourt in SimWorld Prep, though? No, I can't. I can't go with it. I can't. You name the one that I'm going with. Zagor, I'm super high on Zagor.
You're a big Zagor fan.
Big Zagor fan. I think he's the best passer in the country, by
Right.
far. And then Norman Nations. People don't really talk about Norman Nations. They don't really, last year he kind of laid low. He did not really, he showed flashes and definitely the season before when it was in the Ground Zero season with him and with Drake Harville. He's a hooper, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he kind of laid low, fell off people's radar. Everyone talked about the new pretty shiny things. But Norman Nations is a hooper. Zagor is a baller. To me, that's the best backcourt in all of SimWorld Prep. I think Coach Rosante Vance is going to get, or Coach Owner, whatever you
Yeah.
want to call him. I think he's
Right.
going to get the most out of them. He seems to really have the troops fired up out there. And then you got I saw somebody in the threads earlier this morning. I'm up early. Was it our main guy, Super Hooper, on Twitter?
I believe so.
Yeah, saying Dylan Harper is the best backcourt in all of SimWorld Prep,
By
all by
himself.
himself. That's funny, but as funny as it is, it may be some truth to it. I like Boggs and company, and the Pagnotti posse is probably just going to roast me for this, but they're not number one in SimWorld Prep in my eyes.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't think that's the case either. Going down the list here again, another one that I saw, Johan Novajovic and Daniel Ori as well.
Yeah,
That's also a potentially top backcourt in the league with Johan's ability to attack the basket and score all levels, and Daniel Ori's ability to shoot the three.
yeah,
That's going to be impressive to see those two work together this season.
for sure, for sure. But top, I can't roll with it. I'm sorry. I can't roll with it. We have seen some things from Samuel Bogus, though. We talk about
Yeah,
what we've
yeah,
seen, what he's able to do. Like, I think we got a package here. We see he's able to knock down an open jumper with
yeah.
ease, right? He's able to find passes. I guess we don't have clips of some of his passing. Like I said, nothing super flashy,
Right.
nothing crazy flashy, but he gets the job done. There's probably, and Coach Drayton, I think what Beast East says, you'd be hard pressed to find a better passer in all of SimWorld Prep. I say Zagor is a better passer, but shout out to Samuel Bogus out there in Bad Boys basketball. Don't think they're going to be finishing as low on the totem pole as people think, though.
It'll be put to rest this season, I think. You mentioned earlier Bogus's assist per game last season. It was 5.6 last
5.6,
season.
good enough. He
Yep.
played
Yeah.
like 28
Oh,
minutes.
yeah. Absolutely.
He played like 28 minutes. But look, B-Ron, Spurs.
Yeah.
San
Yep.
Antonio Spurs out in the SWBA, right? Wimby. Everyone's waiting. You know, Wimby's the guy. He's the seven
He is.
foot
Yep.
nine or whatever the hell he is, right?
Yeah.
Just what a guy. What a talent he's gonna be. He needs a meal. He needs a few meals. I hope he went to town on Thanksgiving, but they're struggling. They're struggling, right? The Spurs are not looking great. Very early on, people are saying they're looking like a lottery pick to end the season. I mean, we're like a month in. That's crazy how those
Started.
projections. Yeah, but who could they be looking to pair with? I've seen there's another Frenchman who've never heard of in my life that's starting to be talked about. His name is Sar or Raz or something like that. There's a few kids that alumni from SimWorld Prep also. Who could the Spurs be targeting?
So I'm gonna focus on those SimWorld Prep kids you mentioned, the former
Okay.
SimWorld Prep kids. I've seen a few in the threads this morning, looking
Yeah.
through, and a lot of those I agree with. The one that comes to mind for me is Cooper Kingy Cross from Maryland. You know, he put up big numbers for the Washington Stars, now run DMV in SimWorld Prep in his first season. That's where the legend of CKC began. You know, I think he would be the best pairing for him. There was another one that I saw was Tyson Simpson and Victor together. Like that would be fun. I don't know if that would work as well as we think it would because of how the league is going now and how the game has changed so much. I feel like years ago, sure, you could do it, but now I don't think it would work. It could work, but I don't think it would work as well. And if you talk about the Spurs, I mean, you know, when I think of the Spurs, I think of, you know, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Trey Parker, Tony Parker, those three. So a Tony Parker-esque kind of player would be nice, but I do think that CKC will be the best fit there because he could score, take some of the pressure off of Wembanyama and allow him to do more what he does and roam the floor a little bit better and that kind of stuff too. But we had said it. I had said it to you last night. We were talking about some things, getting ready for the morning. That kind of. I had said that, you know, Victor Wembanyama, he's so tall and he's so skinny. Like there's no reason for him to be that tall and that skinny. It's so weird to me. But man, that's impressive to have that build and be as effective as he is where he plays basketball. The position he plays at is weird to be effective with that build. So
Hey, shout out this morning all the guys out there that have kids that probably just went back to school from this Thanksgiving break. Right, like we're so happy about that. My daughter watches something called Peppa Pig, and when I see Victor Wembanyama, I think of what she sees on Peppa Pig that makes me. I mean, I just cry laughing every time I see the scene, and it's a spider, and he's called Mr. Skinny Legs, and that's what I think of when I see Victor Wembanyama. So, but yeah, you're going CKC. I'd go a slightly different direction. I don't think you could go with a big like Tyson Simpson because you're right. The way the game's changed, that absolutely would not work. In my opinion, it's too fast paced. There's been some conversation around SimWorld Prep, SimWorld Hoops this morning about that. But I would go the route of someone who was taken from a particular level by a particular coach and upgraded in a major way, but plays on the interior, which would allow Wemby to roam free. This guy has a lot of size. He attacks the basket ferociously. I think back to the days, and I'm thinking of someone that could be coached in a Popovich system. I'm thinking back to the old Tim Duncan and Dave Robinson days, where Tim Duncan always touted as a power forward, but he really played the center. And then you had David Robinson, who worked offensively in a face-up position from the elbow. Yeah. I'm talking Johnny Ballgame Baldwin. I would love to see Johnny Baldwin alongside Wembanyama with Baldwin just running straight down people's throat, cramming in their faces, going north and south to the rim while Wembanyama's big 7'5" self is taking step back jumpers, everything else. I think it would be insane. I think that's something to look at. Maybe that's just a wish list item for me. Probably is, but I would love to see it.
And, you know, a few other names that came to mind for me, and Marsh had listed names that came to mind for me as well. Jameson Johnson, Glory Tate, Jalen Snow, and LaGerald Carroll. Those are all three that also, three, four other names there that would be a nice pairing with the lanky man himself. There he is.
Eat a meal! Eat a
Yeah.
few meals. Listen, we should all get together and throw some charitable donations to send some food to them, some packaged meals or something. I don't know, man. A Lunchable or five. Do
Look,
something.
as a skinny guy myself, I'm not tall, but I'm skinny. So like I understand those comments about eating a meal. I get that. I
Hey,
get that.
look, they're going
Taking
way
your
too
time.
far. They're going way too far. We saw Zion Williamson, all the trouble he's had with his
Yeah.
knees because he's overweight. This guy's going way. He's going the polar opposite direction. This is like, come on, man. There's a happy medium here. There is a
Gotta
happy medium.
gotta find it somewhere, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Gotta find it somewhere. But man, you know who's not in a happy place right now? I would imagine the best Coast ballers because
Oh,
boy, it's not looking good.
no.
The DJ Davis drama continued over the weekend, and just to give a quick timeline of things for a recap for those of you who are just getting into things, maybe perhaps or missing the news cycle over the weekend. Friday, rumors came out about Davis demanding or complaining about scheme changes. Later on Friday, SB Live, there's an article came out with Coach Dominguez's response, basically downplaying the situation. Saturday, a SimWorld TV article came out with Davis's response and basically him threatening to go rogue in the offense. And then later on Saturday, there was a tweet from Samuel Charles reporting on people taking sides in the locker room about this whole situation. And the season hasn't even started yet, and this is all over some scrimmages. So, like, I think I had said it previously. It depends on how he was going about, complaining or demanding changes or whatever it was. But now that all this has come out over the weekend and things have transpired, now the question is, does this actually start trouble for basketball? Because before it was a case of, we didn't really know what was going on and everything like that. But now that we know things, oh boy, I think this team is in serious trouble with this right now, especially because both Davis and Coach Dominguez are both new to SimWorld Prep. This is not good for either of them.
Well, look, B-Ron. We got this new pretty set here, this whole new format. Everything's supposed to be copacetic this morning. We're returning from Thanksgiving, and I gotta wholeheartedly disagree here. I think it's being overblown. I think the media, yes, I'm a part of it. I'm a part of the media. You're a part of it. We gotta do what we gotta do, right? But I think it's being overblown. There's no way. I refuse to believe that a kid 15, 16 years old. I'm not sure how old DJ Davis is. We get our production guys, to give us whatever. He's 15, 16 years old. I think he's been in SimWorld Prep, the most elite prep basketball league in the entire
16.
world. 16 years old.
Yeah.
I fail to believe that he showed up on the scene about 6 to 7 days ago and started demanding what had to happen on the court. I fail to believe that anyone's doing that. I fail to believe.
So I'm sorry. I had to cut you off because
All
I
right.
would love to agree with you there. But Davis himself validated the rumors. He validated it. And, he basically said it. I have the quote here. I'm just gonna read this.
Receipts on a Monday morning? It's supposed to be Cyber morning. You're not supposed to have receipts yet, man.
Nah, I got you. I have to with this. It's been a real quote. It's been a real struggle to even get a shot in our offense, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to do anything offensively to help my team. Something has to change. Or I'm just going to start taking my own shots freely. How can you look at that and say, "Oh, it's not a big deal"? How can you hear that and say, "Oh, it's not a big deal. It's fine. Nothing's going on"? It's not good. It's not good. Nobody can change my mind on that. I don't see it. I disagree.
I'm trying to be nice here, man. It's Monday. I'm trying to be nice. I'm all about accountability. It's so often in this world people say, like, I'm listening to you say it, and I'm like, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? People say things and they want to backtrack them. Yeah, hey, people say inflammatory things, and then all of a sudden it's being taken out of context, or hey, it did. Well, you said it. Like, if I walk in my mom's house and I say I hate you, and she remembers that forever. I said I hate you. Like, I can't just. I don't know what I'm supposed to say about that. What I will say is I think they'll get it together. I think kids say things in the heat of the moment. As inflammatory as that sounds, as improper as that sounds, it was just a moment in time is what I'm going to roll with. I think the coach has a pretty good relationship with his players, and you can, as long as lines of communications are open, you can always work through things, right? So
Yeah, you can. You can. I'm not saying you can. I hope they work through it, but boy, I'm not. I'm not happy about it.
No,
I'm not happy about it.
no.
And
Well,
I'm
look,
not happy about it. You know
they
me. I'm
have a player. They have a player in Suno Choppa, who he's been known to say what he needs to say in the media, and he actually shows some great restraint and some great leadership in this situation. From what I hear,
yeah.
he kind of calmed all parties. He made his comment in the media. He got in, he got out, and maybe he set the example for how this is handled. When I look at
Right.
this team, though, like you said, I see a new coach in Coach Dominguez. I see a new coach. I see a NBN Ventures. That's a group of guys that know basketball. I'm sure
Yeah.
they're going to step in at some point and say, hey, man, this is how it goes in the game of basketball. Pro level, prep level,
Yeah.
collegiate level.
Right.
There's some levels of leadership there. Even if everyone's new to SimWorld Prep, that doesn't mean that they're new to basketball. You got Suno Chopper, who got land blasted multiple times over the off season on how he handled things, and he seems to have matured greatly. And then you have Dre Ryder there, who's just I've talked to that kid many times, and he's just the level of consistency. So
Right. Exactly.
I think things can be smoothed over. I mean, yeah, if we're gonna harp on those comments, and I know that's what, oh, I said something totally out of bounds. Why is the media still talking about it? Because you said it. But once it does blow over, which it will at some point, I think all of this will just be water under the bridge. DJ Davis is an incredible talent. I'm sure he's going to get his shots. There's no way. He's one of the best shooters in the country. He's going to get his
Absolutely.
shots. But we just finished talking about Coach Popovich. If he played for a coach like Coach Popovich would say, just because you said that, no matter how good you are, you're gonna sit this pine. These plays are not gonna be ran for you. There's a lesson to be learned. There's a
No.
lesson to be learned. Sometimes my son, I always talk about my kids. I know that's annoying for people without kids, right? But sometimes my son will walk in and there's something I want to do for him. But he walks
Right.
in and tells me that we're going to do it before he asks me. So for that very reason, I say no. Even though I want to do it for him. Like there's a lesson to be learned. So I don't know. I'm rooting for Best Coast, though. Their name is Best Coast. It's the post LDO era, and I want to see them do well. I really do.
I hope so. I hope so. So let's get into our final topic of the day, real quick. Ethan Letterman has moved places. He is no longer with Showtime with SimWorld Africa,
Yeah.
and there's potential there for him to have a big role in the offense in terms of getting some shots of this team that lacked shooting
Yeah.
last season. They've gotten a lot of that, a lot better with that. Getting Ethan Letterman, I think that he will have a bigger role in that offense, and I think. So I think he's going to get the amount of shots he needs to get that he was maybe wanting to get last season with Showtime. He'll get those and more with SimWorld Africa this season because of how the team is constructed around him. I don't think he'll be a centerpiece per se, because that might fall to Pierre Dupont or Abdul Rauf, for example. But I think he will definitely find himself a role and be happier with SimWorld Africa. What about you?
I hope so. I hope all these kids find happiness. This is a generation. We got to find some happiness. There's so much to be happy about. We could be in some other places. So absolutely, I hope he finds happiness on this team. And I think, like you said, I think he'll have a larger role. Some of these kids need to, again, realize what their skill set is. If you're a shooter, you need to work on that ball handling. If you're a ball handler, you might need to work on your shooting. Defense may come into play. But one of the things that's been talked about all offseason is that SimWorld Africa, through Ground Zero season and season 1, 2 seasons of SimWorld Prep has existed. What they've lacked is shooting. So he comes right in and he immediately fills the singular role that they've been missing for 2 seasons. So if I was him, a la JJ Redick or Kyle Korver, hey man, y'all go do the heavy lifting. Y'all play that defense. Y'all attack the rack. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna camp out at this 3-point line. I'm gonna make a living. I'm gonna make a real honest living, and everyone's gonna know exactly what it is I do while I work on the rest of my game. So we'll see if he picked up a little hype in the off season. Maybe he had a little growth spurt, or maybe he didn't. But what we do know is he can shoot, and he's gonna get the opportunity to in Africa. And before I hand that over, B-Ron, when I look at this roster, I'm looking at it right now. Pierre Dupont, Amar Afuu, and those guys are going to command a double team. they they get kind of down, dirty, and rough in there in the paint,
Yeah.
and they're gonna bruise. There's a guy Henrique Conti that I'm a big fan of. He's a rim attacker, and then on top of all that, you got Cole Abdul Rauf, who Rick Blaze is intimately in love with for whatever reason, because he's a good passer. He's a willing facilitator and passer. So I think Ethan Letterman is going to be found and get lots of opportunities to be open, to be found for the shot, and to knock it down.
100%, 100%. I'm looking forward to seeing how Ethan does. And look, man, as of today, Friday, come Friday, we'll have games, man. So excited.
December 1st.
Yep, the countdown's officially, beginning. We can start like the threads of like, hey, but we got the player just number countdown, all of that. Let's get that going too.
Yep.
Let's do it, man. We're right around the corner for some real basketball here in SimWorld Prep. Thank you for joining us this morning, for the first episode of the week of SimWorld today. Hope you enjoyed the new format, new display we got going for y'all over here. We are continuing to upgrade and develop, get better every single day here. That's what we do. Remember, you guys, SimWorld is the only place where you can see the game, be the game. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace. This has been a presentation of SimWorld